Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the pledges of allegiance and remain standing for the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the guns bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This year, Katy ISD is celebrating 100 years of service to our great community. And you should know that even though Katy may look a little different than it did a century ago, this community's promise to provide unparalleled learning experiences to children across our region has never changed.
Collectively, we continue to build upon visions for the future that includes families first and partnerships across our region.
Partnerships that advance the public good and serve as the cornerstone for student learning among the nearly 80,000 children our district now serves.
Through open, meaningful, and collaborative discussion, parents, students, business owners, faith-based leaders, legislators, and other community members are developing solutions to actively support our school community.
You see, in our school community, we share the burdens and the successes because we're working together toward a common good.
To increase the capacity to do more for families and students.
Your investment in your school district and community sustains our century-old promise to families and the vision we have always shared for the future.
Thank you for your commitment to Katy ISD.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. First, I'd like to begin with a heartfelt thank you to our Beckendorf Junior High Orchestra. Whenever y'all came in, wasn't it nice to arrive to such wonderful music? Thank you, kiddos. Also, let's thank our Tompkins choir for their beautiful rendition of our national anthem. These two groups are absolutely incredible. They've actually been asked to perform at the Texas Music Education Association's convention this year. And in case you didn't know, that distinction is equivalent to earning a state championship. So well done. You've heard my colleagues and I just express that our community partnerships are invaluable to this school district. So today, we hope you will recognize just how important each of you are when it comes to helping our students achieve success inside and outside of the classroom. I'd like to recognize several special guests today that are in the audience. Please hold your applause until the end. U.S. House of Representatives, the Honorable Michael McCall, along with him, Larissa Plunto, Regional Director, Jonna Carlson, District Director, and Jonathan Matthews, Press and Staff Assistant. From the Office of U.S. House of Representatives, Pete Olson, Field Representative Tori McFarland. From the Office of Texas Senator Lois Kolkhorst, Director Paula Gibson. From the Office of Texas State Senator Paul Betancourt, Chief of Staff Mark Salvato, and District Director Robert Flanagan. Texas House of Representatives, the Honorable Dwayne Boack. Texas House of Representatives, the Honorable Mike Schofield. Texas House of Representatives, the Honorable John Zerwas. From the Office of Texas House of Representatives, Jim Murphy, District Director Deanna Harrington. From the Office of Representative Cecil Bell, District Director Vivian Lapaya. From the City of Katy, we have Mayor Truck Braunger and City Administrator Byron Abair. Mayor Pro Tem Duran Dowdle, Council Member Frank Carroll, Council Member Chris Harris. With us, we also have Chief Bill Hastings, City of Katy Police Department, and Chief Russell Wilson, City of Katy Fire Department. From the City of Fulshear, we have Mayor Aaron Groff, Mayor Pro Tem Kay Kalick, Major Chad Norvell with the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, Emily Hodges, Manager of Community Relations, Fort Bend County Commissioner Precinct 3. From the Katy Area Economic Development, Vice President Rick Ellis. From the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce, Chairman Marcus Henneke. We also have various members of both Katy and Fulshear Chambers of Commerce. Thank you all for being here. As a school board, it is our duty to put the interest of our students before everything else to ensure that they have access to unparalleled learning opportunities no matter which of our 68 campuses and support facilities they attend. This has been true for more than 100 years. You all know by now that this year we are celebrating a century of legacy in Katy ISD. In March of 1919, Katy ISD's first board convened to establish direction and policy for how education would be administered to children throughout what was then a very small community. Katy's early settlers made it a priority to provide opportunities to expand the knowledge of their youth in order to create a better future for their families and the community. Historical records show that it was a community founded on family values and partnerships forged in support of a collective mission. Doesn't that sound familiar? And just like those early settlers, we also face hard choices today, oftentimes along with self-sacrifice and almost always a little public criticism. But know that decisions about how to best serve our nearly 80,000 students are made with your insight and our shared vision for students guiding the way. Providing exceptional instruction and learning, as well as a safe and secure environment for those things to happen, is a process that involves great teachers, parents, school staff, administrators, mentors, volunteers, businesses, parent support groups, along with local and state government. And our collective determination, efficiency, resourcefulness, and teamwork is seen through the success of our students. Their assessment outcomes, AP enrollment, graduation rates, and workforce readiness are all evidence of that. Even though our boundaries are bigger and our schools are more expansive, we continue to teach the foundation of personalized and inspired learning that began a century ago. Together, we are all charged with carrying forth this legacy for the next 100 years. So now please join me in welcoming our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Lance Hent, to hear about Katy ISD's State of the District.
Good job, lady. Well, good morning. I'd like to thank all of you for being here with us today at the annual State of the District. You've already heard from our board president on some introductions, but I have some special guests as well that I want to introduce, and that's our Katy ISD Board of Trustees. You just heard from our board president, Ms. Courtney Doyle, but I'm going to ask her to stand and be recognized again. We've got our board vice president, Mr. Bill Lacey. Our board secretary, Miss Ashley Vann. And trustee, Miss Rebecca Fox. Dawn Champagne and Susan Gessoff couldn't be with us this morning. They had work obligations, so let's give them a round of applause. Is she here? George Scott, my bad. All right, I missed one. How could I miss Mr. George Scott? Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Well, before we talk about what is happening now, let's take a moment to reflect on how we got here. Ms. Doyle mentioned Katy ISD is celebrating a 100-year anniversary this school year. And this past spring, we were fortunate enough to have a committee of folks come together, many of whom are here today, to document our 100-year history so that the memories, milestones, and accomplishments of the past, present could be shared with today's students and community, as well as generations to come. And man, let me tell you, I, for one, learned a lot about this school district and the families and communities who comprised it over its past century. I'm sure many of you, particularly those who were born and raised in Katy, may be second, third, or fourth generation Katyites, know that before Katy ISD was formed, there were several one-room schoolhouses built to educate the local children of this farming community. Back then, it was just the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. It wasn't until 1919, about 23 years after the first few schoolhouses were built, that the Katy Independent School District was established by voters. And at that time, there was only 1st through 10th grade in this small community, and that's because back then the kids had to get back to the farms to work and provide for their families. Now let me tell you, the expectation of young adults these days has certainly changed, but you know there were a lot of opportunities offered to students even back then. Vocational agriculture was added to the curriculum in the early half of the century, which we know set the foundation for the success of the FFA programs we have here today. Sometime between the late teens and 20s, the Parent-Teacher Association was established. These parents took a hold of shaping public education and the educational experience for students. And we see their vision for our schools and parent engagement even today amongst our PTA and parent support groups. In fact, you probably don't know this, but Katy ISD has the largest PTA in Texas with over 24,000 members this school year. That's right, give them a round of applause. During that same time period, the 11th grade was added, basketball, track, and tennis teams were formed, and the first school band was organized. And here's one for you. Apparently, there's never really been a time when there weren't renovations and building additions happening here in Katy schools. That's because this region has never stopped growing. In the 30s, we saw mandated school transportation, while curriculum continued to advance in the 40s as typing, art, drama, and woodworking made their way into our classrooms. Oh, and by the way, the 12th grade was also added in the 40s. We don't know exactly when, but sometime in that decade. Now, I'm not going to reminisce about every decade and every year here, or we could be here till lunch. But the early 40s were big years here in Katy. How about the first FFA livestock show and rodeo? And the discovery of oil and gas that brought even more families to our area. Katyites also saw for the first time a new 100-acre campus with an auditorium, a field house, an administration building, and yes, it even had a swimming pool. Yep, that was Katy High School, folks. Now, I'd like to pause for a moment and share with you a brief collage of some historical photos that show the story of Katy through the community and the schools they built for their children and families.
Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something great. Go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days we wanted everything, wanted everything. Mama said, burn your biographies, rewrite your history, light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything.
That's pretty cool, huh? Anybody in one of those pictures? No? You know, those words to that song you just heard in the background, high hopes, not giving up and making a legacy, couldn't be truer to this day. Look, we barely have time to cover even a few highlights of just 4 decades, and so I encourage all of you to follow the great stories of this great school district on our 100-year anniversary website, and you can share with us some of your accounts of Katy ISD's history to help us fill in the blanks. Folks, I've given you just a little bit of what's gone on here to point out that since day one, we have pushed ourselves, our community, and each other to provide unparalleled learning experiences to students and families. And I'd go so far as to say that our kids feel compelled to rise to the occasion in everything that they do because of the vision of yesteryear's communities, today's Board of Trustees, all of whom understood the importance of preparing students to create their future. We see the impact of their foresight and vision for our school community in our namesakes, our volunteers, and community leaders that continue the Katy ISD legacy. In fact, I'd like to ask our namesakes to please stand. I'd like to ask our parent support groups. Come on, namesakes, stand. If you're in a parent, stay standing. I know it may be hard on your knees. I want our parent support groups to please stand. If you're here and you're a parent and you're in one of our, please stand. How about this? If you've been a member of the Board of Trustees or you're a current member of the Board of Trustees, please stand. Remain standing. If you are a volunteer, I want you to stand as well. Stand up if you are a volunteer. And how about our business partners? All of our business partners stand. Community leaders, come on, this table right here. Community leaders, I want you to stand. Stay standing. How about a very important group, our faith-based leaders? If you would please stand. I know there's a table back there. Let's have them stand up. And then we have our legislators. If you'll please stand. I was humored by our friend from Washington, D.C. reciting the pledge to Texas. You did a good job, by the way. All right? Our legislators, please stand. And the last group that I'd like to stand is our retired teachers. And if you're a resident of Katy, please stand. Come on, stand up. Look around, guys. Just look around. I can't thank you enough for what you do in support of the mission and the vision of this district. Give each of you a round of applause. Yes, you can sit down now. Folks, let me tell you, this staff in this room, and I know they're in the back there, but our principals, department heads, teachers, along with the thousands of other employees we have serving kids and families across this district 365 days a year will continue to do everything in their power to provide educational excellence and access to unique learning opportunities today and for the generations to come. And they'll be doing it facing the same challenges from the past 100 years, things like unfunded mandates, greater demands from the state and the feds on curriculum and support services, and new innovations in life and work that require us to prepare students differently than we did just 10 years ago. And yes, Katyites might even have to deal with some hurricanes and floods over the next 100 years. I don't need to remind you, but it was at this time last year we were dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. 16 campuses were impacted by the floods. Creech Elementary was completely destroyed, and we were displaced here in the Education Support Complex. At the time when only the initial impact or not much of the initial impact was known, I don't think anyone could have imagined that to this day there would still be some people whose homes and lives are not yet 100% back in order. During a very challenging time for our children, neighbors, and friends, you, all of this group here, supported one another and stood together Katy strong. And I want to say personally, thank you for that. And you probably remember that before the storm, we had a group of community members working on developing a bond for our schools and students. We needed a bond before Harvey, and we certainly needed one after Harvey. Our community may have just begun thinking about recovery at the time, but they came out to vote, folks, and the November 2017 bond passed with the most supporting votes in our school district's modern history. It's a testament to our community. And as a reminder, here's a quick breakdown of the bond. It will build 3 new elementary schools. We call them Elementary 41, 42, and 43. The first one, 41, opened this year, and that's Campbell Elementary School. Where's Campbell? Campbell in the house there. All right, one of our namesakes. It also includes 2 junior highs, the district's 9th high school, and a comprehensive renovation at Fielder Elementary School. There will be component replacements such as chillers, boilers, floors, roofs, spread across various campuses district-wide. And among other things, and very important to us, it includes upgrades to technology and safety and security enhancement. The fact is this bond helps the district to continue what we're doing at a level that we're doing it at. And yes, folks, this is nothing new. Bonds have been used by Katy ISD for the past 100 years. In fact, I think our 100-year anniversary committee dug up some old data on Katy ISD bonds dating back to at least 1955, along with a reference, believe it or not, to increase tax revenue to purchase land for Katy High School in the 1940s. But important to note, and I think this is extremely important, our 2017 bond was a $609.2 million bond with a 0 tax rate increase. Folks, Katy ISD is proud of the fact that we have been able to keep the tax rate steady, and we've even reduced it a penny in the recent years. Our district continues to receive recognitions for financial transparency, and I know we've got our business folks in the room here, and we need to give them all the credit. Recognitions from groups like the Association of School Business Officials International, the Government Finance Officers Association, and the School Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas all speak to our board's oversight and our staff's accountability and determination to be fiscally responsible with taxpayers' money. And let me give you a few other highlights from this past school year. For the 6th year in a row, Katy ISD and all campuses, I'm saying all campuses in the district, were rated Met Standard, the highest accountability rating given by TEA. Katy ISD is one of only 447 districts nationwide, including Canada. They're not part of our nation, but we're going to include them. Think about this, 447 districts, all right, on the College Board Advanced Placement Honor Roll for increasing access to AP coursework while simultaneously maintaining or increasing the percentage of students earning scores of 3 or higher. Advanced placement participation across our district has increased by 75% since 2014. This past year, 82% of students participating in AP exams achieved a 3 or higher. And let's talk about the vocational training that started in this school district 100 years ago. Last school year, the number of career and technical certification exams, which was very important to our Board of Trustees, taken by students here in Katy ISD, rose from over 2,330 in 2017 to 3,250 in 2018, a nearly 40% increase. And Katy ISD students continue to outperform their peers at both the state and national level across all subject areas. For the last decade, the number of our students taking the ACT has increased each year, as well as their scores in each subject area. Our students also excel in the annual Katy ISD Livestock Show and Rodeo, with nearly 465 projects submitted last year, totaling more than $500,000 in sales. Look, everyone in this room knows that it's no secret that Katy ISD is one of the best school districts in the state, and I would argue in the nation. This community is highly regarded for its family values and business growth. However, I and many others would argue that that the Texas Education Agency's new accountability system still does not adequately reflect the range of learning that goes on in our classrooms, nor the individual growth among our students. I'm just going to say it, and I think many of the folks in this room would agree, the educational needs of our students and community, I believe, would be better served if school districts were allowed greater local input and control. Now, but with that said, I can still say that we are very proud that the district as a whole earned an A letter grade in the state's new A through F accountability system this school year. And we were the largest school district with close to 80,000 students that received an A. Think about that, folks. There's a reason why there's an A+ in our logo. It's truly a testament to the hard work and dedication of our teachers, principals, and staff. And for all those teachers, principals, and staff in the audience, could we give them a round of applause? Because that's, I'm telling you folks, where the rubber meets the road is at those schools under the direction of our principals and those teachers. They inspire every single one of the close to 80,000 students in this school district to build their legacy day in and day out. And speaking of inspiring, how about our Education Foundation awarded more than $314,000 in Inspiring Imagination Teacher Grants last school year. And we really need to pause here for a moment. Teachers receiving these grants have the opportunities to explore new and innovative instructional approaches and activities with their students. Stop and think about what these volunteers for the foundation have accomplished. They've come together in one of the most profound ways to fundraise and put money directly in the hands of teachers, which in turn directly impacts thousands of students across the district. In just 6 years, they have raised $1.3 million in grant funds for our teachers. And folks, volunteers, I'm telling you, are the heart of this district. You know, last year our parents, business partners, and their community members donated more than 1 million hours to Katy ISD schools by taking time out of their busy schedules to build relationships with our students and contribute to the success of our schools. It takes a lot to run a district that serves close to 80,000 students. It encompasses 181 square miles and has 68 campuses and student support facilities. And I'd like to briefly recognize just a few of our staff who make that happen every day. I know I saw one of our Teachers of the Year. Where are both of our Teachers of the Year? Please stand. Where are you? All right, we got one. I'm going to recognize them though. I'd like to specifically bring attention to Jrotc, who is a music teacher at Katy Elementary, and Amanda Sandlin, an AP psychology teacher at Tompkins High School. They are, I'm telling you, they are our district-wide Teachers of the Year. These two representatives are representative of the thousands of superstar teachers and staff throughout Katy ISD. In fact, it's because of teachers like Leslyn and Amanda and all of our superstar teachers across the district that Katy ISD earned all 10 spots, top to bottom, 10 spots on the public elementary schools list for the best public elementary schools in the Houston area that's published annually by Niche. And not only did we take the top 10 spots, but we added some schools and took the top 16 spots. Think about that, folks. All of the elementary schools across the Houston area, and we ranked 1 through 16 on that list. Give yourselves a round of applause. And that is a testament to teachers like Leslyn and Amanda. You know, our teachers are able to do what they do because of the leadership supporting them. Our principals, folks, I'm going to tell you, I've been in 4 districts. We have the best principals leadership at the campus that I have ever seen. Our principals are awesome. And I'd like to point out 2 principals that were named as last year's Principals of the Year. Where's Stephanie Vaughn and Mindy Dickerson of Paytell High School? Come on, Stephanie, stand up. Where's Mindy? She must be working, all right? I'd like both of them. Let's give them a round of applause. And I'll tell you what, folks, our staff and community's determination, dedication to students and community, and success is evident in the growth throughout Katy. Did y'all know that we're growing? Usually we hit our enrollment projection sometime in the second half of the school year, just after Christmas. But as of yesterday, about 3:35, I saw DD send a list out. We have 79,920 kids enrolled in Katy ISD. And that's about a 500 student growth above what the projection was for the school year. And they're already here, folks. We'll hit 80,000 before Christmas, I guarantee you. Like I said, much of this can be attributed to the leadership and the talent on our campuses, in our departments, and specifically in our classrooms. But everyone should also be aware of the impact of our local and state and federal governments and our business organizations. They play a huge role in making Katy ISD the destination school district. And the city of Katy is just one of those entities. Let's take a moment to hear from our Katy Mayor, Chuck Braunger.
I would like to bring up a few items of historic value to the Katy School District. In 1898, Katy Common School District was formed to serve the town and surrounding communities. In 1899, the city constructed the first wooden one-room schoolhouse to serve all grade levels at the site of the current Katy Elementary School playground. School years followed the planting and harvesting cycle of the crops. That's how we got the Katy Rice Festival. In 1900, Galveston hurricane damaged the schoolhouse, but repairs were made and classes continued at the home of W.H. Featherson. 1918, Katy Independent School District was established by the voters, and several one-room schools scattered nearby were consolidated to serve the students. School boundaries were set by distance from a set point in the city. 3 miles to the east and west, 5 miles to the south, and 2 miles to the north. The reason those boundaries were set was that you look at the way of transportation was either horseback or carriage. So it had to be close to where the school was. The city of Katy was incorporated in November of 1945 and is located at the Three Borders intersection of Harris, Fort Bend, and Waller counties, and currently encompasses approximately 17 square miles and a population estimated at about 20,000 people now. The city of Katy recognizes the importance of a close working relationship between Katy ISD and the city. In fact, the city has grown so much that we have economic development projects coming in now that is going to bring more people into our area. And this will only help provide more financial support to not only the school district, but also to the city of Katy. We have a lot to work on over the next couple of years as we recover from Hurricane Harvey, how we continue to grow, and how we want to work with the Katy ISD to provide the best possible education for our citizens, our students, and our families. We have people that want to move into the city of Katy, and one of the main reasons is that Katy ISD is the top choice of parents who want to bring their children to very good performing schools. So we're very blessed to have all of these areas that will help our city grow, to help Katy ISD, and provide the very best education for our students.
Mayor Braunger, you're pretty good on camera. Would you please stand? We'd like to recognize Mayor Braunger with the City of Katy. And we'd like to thank the City of Katy for their support. This is where it all started, right here in this town 100 years ago. And although the city of Fulshear is kind of the new kid on the block in comparison, they have just as much of an impact on the southwest side of our district. So we're going to hear from Mayor Aaron Groff, newly elected mayor of Fulshear.
Good morning, my name is Aaron Groff and I'm the newly elected mayor of Fulshear. I want to thank you for the opportunity to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Katy ISD with you. I also want to give a special thanks to Dr. Hint and the trustees, not only for the invitation, but for their leadership of Katy ISD over the last year. I'm a proud supporter of Katy ISD, and in fact, I had the privilege of serving on the last couple of bond committees. In addition, I'm a parent of 2 students in Katy ISD. I have a daughter who's a sophomore at Tompkins High School and a 7th grader at Seven Lakes Junior High. In fact, as the mayor of Fulshear, the majority of our students attend Katy ISD schools. As you celebrate your 100th anniversary, I know that this month you're highlighting the 1940s. So I thought this morning maybe I would share a little bit about what Fulshear looked like in 1940 and share what's happening now and look to the future of what might be. In the 1940s, we had a little less than 250 residents. In 2003, about 400. In 2008, the number was 700. But today, we sit with just over 12,000 residents. In the 1940s, Fulshear began a 4th of July celebration that continues today. In the 40s, started with a few dozen, maybe 100 people. Today, over 6,500 this last summer. The students in the 1940s attended one of 4 schools that were at the time segregated. And in 1948, those schools merged, creating what is now Lamar Consolidated. In 2008, the first residents moved into Cross Creek Ranch, forever cementing the relationship between Katy ISD and the city of Fulshear. Last year, we had the opportunity to open Campbell Elementary, the 41st elementary in Katy ISD. That comes on the heels of opening Randolph Elementary in 2014. Additionally, just this last spring, it broke ground on junior high number 16 that'll be opening up next fall, and high school number 9, which will open in the fall of 2020. In May, the city of Fulshear elected myself and 4 new council members. In April, we appointed a new city manager, as well as appointed an additional council member. Since that time, we have been working furiously to build a great foundation and to manage the growth that's coming our way. As part of that, we've embarked on a unified development code that will enhance and ease development in the area. Not only that, but we approved the master plan for regionalization of water and wastewater. And we've embarked on a livable center study to help define what downtown Fulshear might look like. All of these were strategic moves to enhance and streamline responsible development in the city. In fact, just this summer, we had over 3,000 homes sold in Cross Creek Ranch alone. The growth is continuing, and we're trying to do what we can to manage it, and we're excited about the future. In fact, just this summer, we were named the fastest growing city in Houston. We were named the 5th safest city in all of Texas, and the richest town in all of Texas, with the median income around $175,000 per household. As we continue to manage the new growth, we want to welcome new businesses and residents to our community. The bottom line is that the success of Fulshear is dependent on our strategic partnerships with organizations just like Katy ISD. The schools our kids attend in Katy ISD are ranked among not only the top in the Houston metro, but the state and the nation. We're proud of our exemplary schools, and we want to do everything that we can to continue to foster that relationship. And we're excited about the new schools that are coming online in the coming years. Fulshear is proud of its heritage, but we're extremely excited about our future. And we're excited to partner with Katy ISD to build a brighter tomorrow.
I received a text early this morning from Mayor Groff, and unfortunately he had something come up. I guess that's the life of being a new mayor. So I can say this, that beard of his has awfully turned gray here lately since taking office. But another critical component to our district is our business base. The Katy Economic Development Council is the organization that focuses their efforts on bringing new businesses to the Katy area, as well as keeping those that are here. And now I'd like for you to hear from our EDC President and CEO, Mr. Lance LaCour.
Lance LaCour, Katy Area Economic Development Council President and CEO. I've had the privilege to lead Katy Area EDC for 13 years, and during that time I've also had the opportunity to call the Katy area home. It has been a special experience calling this growing, tight-knit community home, and playing a role in its continued growth and prosperity. When I arrived in 2005, the population was about 190,000, and now we have over 347,000 people residing in Katy ISD. Living in the Katy area, both of my children have attended Katy ISD. My daughter Lexi was in the first graduating class of Tompkins High School, and my son Emery is currently a junior at Tompkins. During their time in Katy ISD, my wife Michelle and I have witnessed firsthand the excellence in education which Katy ISD is well known for. Katy ISD has not only challenged my children academically, but also provided excellent extracurricular activities through athletics and the arts. Katy Area EDC was founded in 2003. We are a nonprofit economic development organization serving the Katy area as defined by Katy ISD boundaries. Since our inception, we've grown to over 200 members and have assisted in the creation of thousands of jobs and billions in capital investment. Katy is home to countless world-class companies such as Academy Sports and Outdoors, BP North America, Shell, Schlumberger, DNVGL, and Geico. Recently, we have seen companies such as CNPC USA, HighRadius, and T-Mike choose to locate their high-tech operations within Katy ISD boundaries. In addition, Savic, a Fortune 500 company, is currently scoping their 74-acre research and development and headquarters campus, which, if approved, would bring another 1,000 high-impact, quality jobs to the Katy area. As part of our strategic plan, we will continue to focus on attracting high-quality companies and jobs while proactively marketing to our four target industries of data centers, energy services, headquarters, and research and development and testing facilities. In addition to business attraction and business expansion and retention, with our rapidly growing population, we must continue to focus on mobility and flood mitigation and resiliency. A strong public infrastructure and planning for resiliency and enhanced mobility continues to be a priority for the Katy Area EDC and other partners. As an organization, we are truly in a unique position. We serve an area that covers multiple counties, as well as the cities of Katy, Fulshear, and Houston, and we are fortunate to have a team of dedicated economic development professionals serving our area. Time and time again, we hear from people the reason they have decided to locate in our area is the excellent education that Katy ISD offers. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store as our community continues to grow in population, business, and diversity.
Now, Lance could not be here with us this morning, but in Rick's words, the better half is here, and that's the president of the EDC, Vice President Rick Ellis. Rick, please stand and be recognized. And finally, the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce has a long-standing history here in Katy, serving as a voice for local businesses and assisting with business development and growth. This group is also seen rallying support for our teachers in schools. Let's take a check out here of the Chamber video.
Thank you for letting us participate in the Katy ISD State of the District. It's an honor to help Katy ISD celebrate 100 years of being a terrific school district. I am Marcus Henneke, Chairman of the Board for the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce. For almost 60 years, the Katy Chamber has been the voice for business. We are the hub where diverse businesses connect, network, and learn from each other in order to better what they do. The Katy area, as everyone knows, continues to grow at a rapid pace. Because of the quality of education provided by Katy ISD, the school district serves as a magnet for people looking to relocate. The Katy Area Chamber has been a longtime friend of Katy ISD, supporting the district in a number of ways, from teacher appreciation luncheons, Teacher of the Year awards, and support for project graduation. It's important to support our district because, as we all know, Katy ISD is adding some 3,000 new students each year, which is phenomenal. And along with those 3,000 new students come family members. With that, many people moving to our area, it's no wonder businesses want to locate here. Our friends at the Katy Area Economic Development Council do a great job recruiting businesses to come here. And the city of Katy does a great job keeping pace with all the growth in the area. And once those diverse businesses come to the Katy area, it's our mission to do what we can do to help them succeed. We serve as a voice for business and professional community. We translate into action and collective vision of our members. And we deliver clear, defined services to enhance the quality of life and business development opportunities for both our members and the community as a whole. With all the growth coming to our community, 2018 has been another good year so far. Even though we spent much of our year focused on preparing for the future, we still welcomed another 80 new members. This brings our total membership total just under 600. Our business members are as diverse as our community, and what a robust, thriving, diverse community it is. It's an exciting time to be in Katy. But even though we've been serving businesses for almost 60 years, the Katy Area Chamber is planning for and excited about the next 60 years. So regardless whether you're an established long-time business or you're a business new to the area, the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce is here for you. We are your champion. Come help us grow. I want to give a special thanks to Katy ISD for allowing us to be part of this special occasion. Congrats on 100 years of service to the community, and we look forward for the next 100 years.
You've just heard from Marcus, and he's here with us, Chairman of the Board of the Katy Chamber. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you to the Chamber for taking on the task of supporting our local businesses and our community here. It's these partnerships that continue to speak to our century of legacy here in Katy. Students today have so many demands placed on them, but here in Katy they have such a large support system in our schools and community, something we should all be very proud of. And I hate to admit it, but kids today are a lot smarter than we were or I was back in the day, and they are certainly more talented. So I'm going to introduce to you again the Tompkins High School Mixed Choir directed by Kristen Reinhardt, and they are going to sing for us.
Cantate Domino, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum. Cantate Domino, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum. Cantate Domino. O mistera, o mistera, o mistera, cantate Domino, cantate benedicite, cantate benedicite nomini eius, cantate Domino, et benedicite, benedicite nomini eius, et benedicite, benedicite nomini eius. Annunciate, cantate Domino, de die in die, cantate Domino, cantate Domino, saltereus, cantate Domino, Domino, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum Domino, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum. Cantate Domino, canticum date, canticum novum, canticum date, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum, canticum novum. Cantate Domino, Domino, omnistera, 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 omnistera.
I'll tell you what, you're looking at the state championship of choir right here, right? Thank you, thank you. As you heard from our board president, they will be performing here soon at the Texas Music Educators 2019 convention. Congratulations. You see, folks, our young adults, like the students with us right here today, may be our present, but they are also the future. And to keep our future promising for all students, we must continue to work diligently toward our shared vision. What we have here in Katy ISD does not just happen by osmosis. Staff and everything that goes on in our classrooms, our offices across the district are guided by a plan. When I first arrived here in Katy as superintendent, the board and I made it a priority to ask the community for your help in developing specific goals and to create a roadmap to ensure two things. First, that our students continue to succeed at the highest levels and to improve. And number two, Katy ISD remains the destination school district in our region. And so began the process of Katy ISD's strategic design. We just finished our first full year of that plan, and to give you some more insight, I've asked my Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Ken Gregorski, to talk a bit about where Katy ISD is heading. It's all yours, Ken.
Thank you, Dr. Hint, and good morning. As mentioned, we have so many people across this district working very hard to support the operations that allow our students to be successful. Katy ISD has 7 divisions whose departments cover everything from curriculum and instruction and technology to finance, school and community engagement, school leadership and support, transportation, maintenance and operations, and legal. And each of these areas play a critical role in how we function. But the hard work at the district level is only one piece in relationship to the most important work that transpires on the campuses each day to support all Katy ISD students. And with that said, October is officially National Principals Month, and I would like all our principals to stand and be recognized for the great work they do every day. Thank you, principals. We appreciate what you do every day. Some of you may recall development of the roadmap Dr. Hint spoke of, which would guide our district moving forward. Began in spring 2017 with a strategic planning process that involved thousands of parents, community members, providing feedback at summits, focus group meetings, and through surveys. That discussion and input led to the creation of 8 goals based on 7 overarching beliefs, a learner profile, and learner outcomes. We are now in the 2nd year of that 5-year plan. The strategic plan has been designed with a focus on outcomes that impact all of Katy ISD students. A variety of these expected outcomes were identified by our community in the first year of the plan, all of which have been accomplished by our staff. Just to name a few, some of these outcomes this year included a review of the grading and reporting handbooks to identify opportunities to better support personalized learning for our students, taking a look at the possibility of expanding the Jrotc program, which we found there are a lot of federal requirements to launch a program like this, and it is costly. We also learned that while we would love to have a program at every one of our high schools like this, the student interest just isn't there right now. The expansion of dual credit, gifted and talented, and early college credits were also examined as part of Year 1 strategic plan. Some of our parents in the room may recall their secondary student participating in a survey to gauge student interest. Since then, we've updated job descriptions for our teachers, developed a brochure outlining the benefits of dual credit courses, and in addition, we are looking at some online classes with our Houston Community College partner. As part of Year 1, we also took a look at how we respond to changing demographics. A communications plan was developed with regard to resource allocation. We continue to focus on the changing numbers. In fact, with our current enrollment, we are moving towards becoming the 6th largest school district in the state. And you've probably heard us talk about the fact that, like many districts across the state, we continue to have a shortfall with the number of bus drivers we need. Our previous bell schedule was not sustainable, but more importantly, it wasn't the safest. How many of you have been to that Cinco Ranch area when both the junior high school and the high school let out with La Centera traffic at the end of that school day? It was like ants scattering all around the property, and we were fortunate that we didn't experience more serious issues than just congestion. This brought us to the decision for a multi-bell schedule, which you know we implemented this school year. And we knew it would be challenging, but our transportation department and junior high principals in particular have done a really great job of staying on top of the issues and continuing to make modifications as necessary in order to make that system work. We also examined the 2-mile turn-by-turn, and we may have to revisit that someday, but keep in mind that this is the model that most of our neighboring districts utilize. But for now, we continue our current standard, which provides bus service above and beyond the state reimbursement for that bus service. Through implementation of Year 1 outcomes, we also developed a portrait of an educator. There was a strong feeling amongst our community and staff that we needed to put words to our expectations of what educators look like. We have posted that online, and we use that in our recruiting efforts. Very big piece of what we do is not only to educate our students to be successful in their endeavors, but to support the whole student through their emotional well-being. And although there were many programs already in place, we were being more intentional with communicating and sharing information and resources. One initiative that has come out of that strategic plan is the Legacy Parent Academy. Our first session on emotional well-being and the referral process had 544 live stream viewers and several dozen in attendance. We have hosted 3 Academy nights so far this year, with another 7 more sessions scheduled throughout the school year. And finally, for our first year of the strategic plan, it was imperative for us to identify new and improved ways to provide safe and secure environments for digital learning in our classrooms and across this district. Keep in mind that this is always a moving target in our ever-changing technological world. With that said, we did have a third party assess our systems, and from that, we created a list of action steps to specifically target our vulnerabilities. We included safe apps for students, parents, and teachers. As you can see, a lot of ground has been covered by our various departments who understand how each of these pieces fit together to ensure what we do provides the best opportunities and learning experiences for our students. But we still have a lot to cover. In this second year, we will be working on establishing improved learning spaces that support collaborative, flexible, and safe environments for our students. We'll be examining the current workforce needs and existing career and technical education course pathways. We'll look at new or improved measures to determine learner progress. Identifying a more functional definition of campus expectations for technology integration is also on the list. Enhancing professional development opportunities will be a priority. You heard Dr. Hint talk about the important role of community partnerships and volunteers in this district. As such, updating our school business partnership program model to meet the needs of both our campuses and business partners is a priority. Just as important, we'll be looking at ways to improve parent engagement, and we've been getting this month through our focus groups comprised of parents from across the district to help us identify how we do this. And we are continuing to create parent trainings, enhance systems around various student and family needs. This is the role of our new Legacy Parent Academy previously mentioned. Along these lines, we've been working on an informational campaign on bullying prevention and intervention to increase awareness. Action steps are being taken on each of our campuses to address bullying behaviors. We also continue to work through the needs around safety and security, and have implemented a variety of additional measures that includes actions such as increasing our front desk security and check-in processes on the campuses, the clear bags at roads and legacy stadiums, and higher fencing around portables and playgrounds on our campuses. Let's be clear, our folks are doing great things to protect our children and ensure they have access to a variety of learning opportunities. I think everyone here knows that we are not the district that will stand for the status quo. As for our future, some of it is very clear. We expect to see additional growth, with some models showing that we will hit 100,000 students within the next 10 years. This will create opportunities as well as challenges as we manage that growth. Dr. Hint provided you a brief update on the 2017 bond. We need to be realistic and keep in mind that bonds are how we keep up with growth in our aging facilities. And although the current thought is that we wouldn't see another bond until maybe 2021, our growth is really going to dictate much of that timing. If we continue to be the destination district with the student achievement and success rates we've seen, which I know we will, then families will continue to flock here. And unless the state finds new ways of funding public education, then we will likely see more bonds to keep our older campuses up to date and to add new campuses for our growing student population. Katy is a destination district. I know that firsthand, as I've worked in multiple districts in my 26 years in education. I remember coming to Katy after serving as a teacher and coach in El Paso ISD. I was given the opportunity to take on the role of assistant principal at Katy High School back in 1998, one of the best times of my career. After serving this district for 11 years, I had the opportunity to serve in other school districts in a variety of different administrative capacities. But I have to tell you, I am more than honored to be back with Katy ISD, to be part of the legacy, a part of our future, and I'm proud to be serving alongside each one of you on this journey, as our mission states, to create the future. Now I'd like to turn things back over to Dr. Hint. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. I have to say this, though. That 1998 picture, you actually had hair on your head. I mean, come on, guys. Oh, yeah, it's a little slimmer also. But you know what? Yes, we have a lot of work ahead of us, folks. No doubt about it. And Katy ISD can't be successful without all of you. From those that volunteer in our classrooms to the mentors that fill a gap for those who may need one, to our business partners and faith-based leaders who create stability and hold us accountable for our priorities, to our parents that come here, stay here, and push for learning opportunities that help their children to create their future. We are fortunate, folks, so fortunate to have inherited the legacy that has built this district over the past 100 years. Remember, a legacy is not something that happened in the past necessarily. It's something that we must constantly be mindful of. It's something that the Katy community is building right now, right here today for the future. And in closing, I just want to say a couple of things. I want to acknowledge again our school board members, and I'm not going to ask them to stand, but Ms. Courtney Doyle, Mr. Bill Lacey, Ms. Ashley Vann, Ms. Rebecca Fox, and Mr. George Scott. Folks, I don't know of a tougher position to be in as an elected official than to make decisions that we believe and govern a school district are going to be in the best interest of all of our kids, 79,920 as of yesterday. They make decisions that impact the kids that live next door to them, the folks across the street, and their friends and their churches or the organizations. Let's give our school board a round of applause. Another group, and I'm just going to clump them all in there together because I've always said where the rubber meets the road is in our classrooms, our buildings. Our building principals, as I said earlier, are the finest in the state. Our teachers are the best you will ever find. There's no secret why we are the top performing school district in the Houston region, and out of 1,100 school districts across the state, we rank in the top 10 in academics, athletics, extracurriculars, fine arts. You just heard from them. Let's give those folks a round of applause. And then I just want to say this. There's one individual in this room. You know, being in education for 28 years, having served in a leadership role a majority of that time, it's a tough job sometimes being the superintendent of schools. Because I'll tell you what, you're the guy that everything comes back to. And I will tell you this, as tough of a job as being a superintendent is, I don't know any tougher job than being the wife of a superintendent. So I want to acknowledge the love of my life right there, Miss Kathy Hint. Thank you for tolerating me and tolerating all that's gone on. With that said, folks, let me remind you of this. Again, there's a reason why there's an A+ in Katy ISD. You need to be very proud of this school district, and let me give you one word of advice. For those negative critics that may spread false claims and rumors, this group here is the protection of this school district. You need to stand up and speak out. Again, thank you for being here, and you guys have a blessed day.